Now that we have some brief ideas of Sibelius' music inspiration and his background, we may move on to talk about an exhibition we have visited earlier. The exhibition is called Sibelius and the World of Art. It is held in the Athenaeum from the 17th of October last year to the 22nd of March. So if you're interested in the exhibition, there's still a chance to go. This is the layout of the exhibition. There are 12 galleries in it. Each has its own theme showing different artworks inspired by Sibelius and his music. About the exhibition, it aims to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Sibelius' birth. You can see a rich collection of paintings by artists of Sibelius' time. This shows the connections Sibelius had with the visual arts and even the influence he has until now. When you first get in the exhibition, you will see portraits and sculptures of Sibelius as shown earlier. There are also comics and magazine covers which depicted Sibelius. Together with the collector coins and objects from Sibelius' home, we can imagine the image of Sibelius and also the importance and popularity of Sibelius back then. Other than the objects depicting the image of Sibelius, there are other materials showing the relationships between Sibelius and artists at his time, for example letters and cards, and Sibelius' diary. Those are of course unfinished, so not all of us can understand, but in the exhibition there are several important quotes translated in English and printed on the walls. The majority of the exhibition is about the mutual influence between Sibelius and the artists. So, paintings are put under different categories like fantasy and myth, Finlandia, which is about nationalism, Into the Woods, which is about the nature, symphonic landscapes, melancholy, and Sibelius' monument. What I'm going to do is to give you some examples from the exhibition in order to present the ideas that I've come up with, mainly focus on the relationships, influences, and those related to art movements. As mentioned before, Sibelius loves birds, especially swans. In his diary he once said, "The swans are always on my mind and they lend magnificence to life. It is strange to know that nothing in the whole world, not in the art, literature, or music, has such an effect on me as these swans and cranes and beangees. Their calls and their appearance." As we know from Kalevala, Lemminkainen is a war hero and womanizer who dies when he attempts to shoot the mystical red swan of Tornilla, a bird that is beyond life and death. Sibelius made a song and tone poem on this myth called the Swan Tornilla. Lemminkainen in Tornilla was the original name of Axel's painting after the second movement of Sibelius' composition. This is Axel Gallin Kalila's painting in 1897, Lemminkainen Mother. Sibelius had a close relationship with other composers. This another painting of Axel shows the premiere of Sibelius' Symphony No. 1. There are four people in the painting. One is Sibelius, another one is the painter, and another two are Robert Kajanis and Oscar Marikanto. Robert was a conductor, composer, and the director of the Helsinki Philharmonic Orchestra. On the other hand, we also see artists' influence on Sibelius. In his diary in the 1930s, Sibelius once said, "How to attain that peace of soul Becca Halonen speaks about." Sibelius was also close to Becca. From their letters, we can see how they exchanged ideas and inspirations. Sibelius crossed the period from the late 18th century to the 19th century. That was exactly the period when modernism rose. In this painting, we can see the assertive brushstrokes, vivid colors, primordial rhythm. These are all parts of the symphonic structure and the representative characteristics of modernism. Because of the development of psychology and the discovery of unconsciousness by Freud, melancholy was a popular theme at that time. This painting, Invocation, Child's Death, painted by Oscar Parkviainen was inspired by Sibelius' playing. The dark painting is associated with a family tragedy, and Oscar painted it for his friend to remember the sad story. Finally, even after Sibelius' death, artists still created upon his death. This is the artwork in the 1960s, Sibelius' monument, which indicated the era of the new Finnish sculpture. Now I will pass it to Frank to introduce one of the most famous work of Sibelius, Finlandia.